じゃあ私が彼に言います。
Students, welcome. Thank you. First of all, this is a little unusually timed for us to catch you between your lab classes, and I'm absolutely amazed at how many of you are here and interested to see Chef Kotani's presentation. I want to tell you some ground rules. We're going to be here for approximately an hour and 50 minutes. During that time, the chef's going to show us some knife skills. He's going to demonstrate how to create something called Dashi, a base for many Japanese dishes. And then from the Dashi, he'll create a couple of entree type meals served from that base. And you're going to get to sample. We've prepared samples for 100, and we are darn close to that right here with what's sitting in this room. So if more folks join us, I'm going to warn you that we may run out of samples. And so be aware of that. Some of the samples are provided on a disposable. And so when you leave, if you'll carry that disposable with you and just drop it in one of the barrels, that'll be great. There's another that's served in a bouille-based cup. And if you would, we'll have trays sitting out on the tables outside the door. If you just deposit that bouille-based cup and the spoon right on those, and they'll be ready for us to haul over to the dishware area, okay? So with great pleasure, I want to tell you that we've worked with Marcy Yanis from the president of the Grand Rapids Sister Cities group, and we have been chatting for about a year and talking about, could we make this happen? And indeed we have, but there's a lot of players. So you'll bear with us where we don't have it exactly right. The chef doesn't speak much English, and so we'll have a couple of translators involved as well. And so that adds another dimension of complexity to what we're doing here. Students, please come in and sit. And Mike, on your side too, if the students would come in and sit, please. I'd like to introduce I'll introduce one and I'll let him introduce the rest of his team. I'd like to introduce Jerry Cook from Gordon Food Service Company. Jerry's a customer service specialist. Sorry, Jerry, yes. And Jerry is going to introduce the chef and his biography and his team. And he will introduce our other translator help. And so they want to encourage you to ask questions about Japanese culture, Japanese life, and obviously Japanese cuisine. And so Jerry knows a lot about the culture and cuisine. Sawako is also a chef here in Grand Rapids and an event planner, and she's going to help us with some of the cuisine kinds of questions. Everybody got it? So I just thank you again. We're going to be at standing room only by the time we fill all these chairs. I am so delighted. Thank you very much. Let's give Jerry and the chef a huge West Michigan welcome, and we'll get this started.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Hey, there we are. I'm on. Thanks, everybody. Minasan, domo arigatou gozaimasu, as they would say in Japanese. Thanks, everybody, for coming. What a unique opportunity you have today to not only see a chef from a foreign country, but a chef from 6,600 miles away from our sister city, which I hope you get a chance to visit in the future, but a master chef and a master in knife skills. Very unlike what we see in Western style cuisine and culture that you'll get a chance to see today. Chef Kotani, or Ryori Cho, as he's known in Japan as a head chef. He started cooking at age 15. He was born in 1961 in Osaka, Japan. I have a map, but I print out 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper, so the point on the map won't really help us a ton. I'm going to pass that map around and you can see some of the areas. He studied in Kobe and Osaka and did an apprenticeship, very similar to what some of you are doing, that lasted for many, many years. As a member of a knife skills training school or dojo related to, same as a martial arts dojo, there are many levels to this skill set. So I guess in our way of thinking, you'd think of all the way from beginner to black belt, right, and sensei or teacher. And Chef Kotani is the sensei of his dojo. There are 12 ranks. He has achieved 11 of those ranks in his knife skill school. And the only way he will achieve the next rank is if the person who currently holds that rank dies. So there will be no duel, I don't think, to do that from what I understand. But what an honor for us to have him here. Omihachiman, Japan is our sister city. I had the opportunity to visit there twice. It's a small community in a rural environment of about 50,000 people. They're known for their architecture, the famous Hashiman Shrine, and now Hotel New Omi, where Kotani Sensei does his work. So I'll hand out some of that. I want to introduce Swako Klein, who is an indigenous Japanese and has been here in West Michigan, and we're very pleased to have her here for the last 10 years. She owns her own business, Come to My Table. She has been a personal executive chef to the DeVos family, is very well known here in Grand Rapids area, and very honored. She also works with the Shiga prefectural government. That's kind of the state in which Omihachiman resides. That is a sister state relationship with the state of Michigan. So she will be helping me with translation, especially on the culinary aspects, because as you know, when you get into any foreign language and you start getting into particulars, especially nomenclature like culinary arts, despite that being my background, there's a lot of differences we'll find. I encourage you to ask questions. Raise your hand. We'll try to call on you and get to you based on this. So with that, Kotani Sensei, koi desu. Hajime, onegaishimasu.
皆さんこんにちは。日本から来ました。My name is Kotani。今日は日本の伝統的なお料理、家庭料理と京都で有名なだし巻き卵を作りたいと思います。よろしくお願いします。
Okay, his name is Kotani, and he's going to show you guys today is a basic dashi, and he's going to use this dashi to make one called niku jaga. Niku means meat, and jaga is potato. So it is meat and potato kind of stew. It's comfort food in Japan. Every mother makes this dish to kids all the time. And last things he's going to do is using dashi and egg to make Japanese
Folded omelet.
Folded omelet. It's called dashimaki tamago, and so that's the last things, right?
Mm-hmm.
So so he's gonna start making dashi first. If you have a question, so please raise your hands, and then we're gonna answer the question.
So dashi is a fish base, right, Soako?
Yes.
It's a fish base that is used as a stage for all different kinds of cooking. It's a jumping off point, correct, for different kinds of,
Yes.
of dishes.
Dashi is the base, just like a chicken broth in here. So you have to have good dashi to make a good dish.
Now, between Western and Eastern Japan, which kind of the dividing point is Nagoya, and I kind of started handing around a map so you can see it, and I marked Omihachiman on there. You have different flavors, just like we do here in the States. So that's pretty obvious when you start looking around. How many people here are from West Michigan? It's my favorite example. How many of y'all eat catfish at least once a week? He put his hand down as soon as I pointed. Catfish once a week? Catfish once a week. I see 3 people. I work at Gordon Food Service. I know what we stock at the warehouse here in Grand Rapids. We do not stock catfish. We sell more catfish in the city of Louisville, Kentucky, 6 hours away in 1 month than the state of Michigan buys in a year. Why? Because there's a regional difference in our food. Most of us weren't raised on catfish. You know what kids eat in school down in Louisville, Kentucky? Catfish in the form of, close, nuggets. Catfish nuggets. How many of y'all ate chicken nuggets in school, right? We all ate chicken nuggets. We didn't have catfish nuggets. So if you grow up with that kind of cooking, you're more likely to reflect it. So between East and West Japan, in the area over in Osaka, you're going to have darker, richer, saltier flavors than you're going to have in Chef Kotani's cookie.
まずお水に昆布を入れます。
This
昆布を入れ
is
て
3 リットルですね。So now he is it showing now? Okay, he has kombu, which is sea scalp, right?
Correct.
Sea scalp. It's soaked in the water a little while, and then he's gonna go. 沸騰するまでですよね。He's going to boil this water. So, 何分ぐらいかかりますか? So about 15 minutes or so. So this one, during the boiling water, so he's going to show you some knife skill.
じゃがいもを下
Well, this is not the special knife skill, just cutting the potatoes.
これを適当に半分に切って乱切りします。
So he divides the potato just like you would in a lot of your cooking skills to put the flat side down and make it safer to cut.
Can you see that he's moving potato? Is this right? And this is the other way to cut potatoes.
我々日本料理はの人間は常に物を切るときに数を数える。常に数を数えて料理をします。
なんでですか？
それは、シェフになるために。
シェフになるために。
いっぺんに2つのことを考える訓練ですね。数を数えながら先輩に言われると数を、
いくつ切った
っていうのを常に覚えながらこの会話をしないといけない。
Okay, so he's telling me when he cutting potatoes or any vegetables, he's always counting how many potatoes now he's slicing. So somebody like asking him something question, he's going to have to have these numbers in the head, and same time he's going to have to have conversation with other people. So this is the kind of training, beginning of training the chef, the skills of doing multiple things in the same time. So people talking to you, answer the question, he's still counting at the same time how many cutting, vegetables. That's the beginning of the training. So he's still counting now. So how many carrots you now cutting? 何個切りましたか今？
14個。
14, he said.
これは、日本料理独特の型抜きもみじ。今日本でとてももみじが綺麗な時期なので。
もみじって日本英語で何て言うんですか？
It's like a cookie cutter.
Japanese maple leaves?
Yeah,
Is it?
for the red maple,
Red maple.
ornamental red maple. Japanese Canada?
Japanese Canada? それアシスタントいりますか？クリスさんにお手伝いしてもらえますか？ですか？
Swako-san, in your experience, how much of this stuff is available in Grand Rapids that these guys can go and get?
You mean
Ingredients, tools.
tools? Well, we don't need any special tool to make this kind of dish. So only I can think is a special soy sauce we need. But I can't find kind of usukuchi shoyu. It's a different soy sauce. The sodium, same sodium with the other soy sauce, but the color-wise, it's light color, like this kind of color, the soy sauce. That's something we cannot find in this Grand Rapids. But otherwise, sake, mirin, soy sauce, sugar, these are all you can buy from Asian store, or Meyer, even Meyer.
次玉ねぎですね。玉ねぎを切ります。
Onion time.
Tamanegi is onion. Onion.
四角く日本でいう折り紙のように
It is square. It's just like origami paper. Shekishi というんですか。Shekishi is like origami kind of, but it's like colored paper. So it's just making square cuts.
これを切ってる間に、昆布だしの方が沸いてきたので、
Now it's the kobu water is starting boiling.
昆布は、先ほどの、この硬いやつは爪が通らない。
Okay, well, this one's dry kobu, so you can crush it with a nail. It's really hard, but right now it's soft, so you can just crush it with
And
a
that's a
fingernail.
seaweed base, correct?
It is seaweed, yes.
爪で、破れるぐらいがベストです。
So it's about like 15 minutes, isn't it? Like 15 minutes or 20 minutes. So just starting boiling water, and you take this kombu out. So katsuobushi is a dry bonito flake. I don't know how many people knows bonito is, you know.
And a lot of Americans go to Japan, and the first time they see bonito is on top of okonomiyaki, which is kind of like a cooked family, almost like a pancake, but
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
not the same kind of batter. And these fish flakes go on top, and the okonomiyaki will be hot, and they move, only because they're not because they're alive. They look like they're alive, but the heat starts to dissolve down the bonito, and it starts to fuse to the okonomiyaki. But a lot of people think that they're alive because they're in Japan. They're going to see those pieces. Can we have a little bit of that bonito to pass around? I don't make a mess, but. Are you finished with this, chef?
これいいですか？サンプルで見せ
いいですか？
もう使わないですか？
ありがとう。
Okay, yes.
これ、沸騰さしません。
Um,
沸騰前に
After you put this bonito flake, never get boiling temperature. It's
沸騰
you're
前
gonna
で
have to.
火を止めます。で
Okay,
このまま、
so
沈殿する。
so until this bonito flake is going
Down.
down,
ダウン
so you're not touching.
Swako, do Japanese chefs use?
どうぞ。
どうぞ。
アメリカではカレーライス
アメリカ人カレーライス作りますか？
Curry rice, yeah.
Do you guys know curry? Curry, but it's different way. It's maybe knows Indian or Thai curry. Right. Okay. He was just asking me, is everybody makes curry at home or?
Somebody make curry? Of those making curry, you're making, putting it on
今
top
手
of
を挙げ
rice
た人た
base.
ちがカレーを家で
Make it
作
with
る
rice. How many of that is short grain rice versus long grain rice? Makes a big difference.
カレーライスとか作るときに鍋に先油を入れます。
It's salad oil ですね。
サラダオイル。
It's a salad oil.
フレンチでもやると思うんですけど、じゃがいもを軽く表面だけ、炒めます。
Saute potato first.
これは、じゃがいもに膜を取って、中がこうお芋さんっていうのはホクホクになりますよね。
崩れないようにって。So the coating oil.
Yeah, wait for the oil to heat and then
So
oil
then
to
the
coat the
potato is not gonna
potatoes.
crush.
Big round of applause for Chris. whose Nihongo, his Japanese is sugoi, Very good. For those of you who don't know world traveling Chris, he studied at Secchia University in Tokyo, which was a sister university with Aquinas College for many years, and we've had many student exchanges back and forth. Suburb of Tokyo.
Now he's straining this dashi.
So we're going to add in the onions, yeah.
Carrots.
Carrot pieces. So same base vegetables that you would use in a rice curry.
Yes, Japanese style curry. And he's gonna add it, dashi, stock. Sake.
お酒っていうのは、素材の持ち味の旨味を引き出すのと味を締めます。
味を締めます。
Hmm.
That's the thing. It's difficult to explain in English.
先生、いい酒と悪い酒、大丈夫ですか？
料理は悪い。
Okay,悪い。You're going to use not the best sake when you're using it in dashi. So kind of like we would consider cooking sherry in this
But
case.
you can use good sake.
You could use good
to
sake.
cook too.
Probably better to drink good sake
Right.
and use so-so
Yes.
sake for dashi sauce.
お酒を入れて次にお砂糖ですね。
Okay.
Osato is sugar. So
Sugar
this
sake.
is Japanese sugar.
Is there a big difference, Swako-san? in-
Can you see the texture-wise different? We don't use granite sugar to cook.
So
in
is the
this
sugar from
Japanese dish. It's more like, like a brown sugar kind of texture.
お砂糖から入れるのは、お砂糖っていうのが一番味が染みにくいです。先にお醤油を入れるとお砂糖は中に染み込まない。
He wants to add his sugar first because sugar is the last things vegetable absorbed. So if you put soy sauce first, and then sweetness sugar is not gonna absorb in vegetable. So he's adding sugar first.
次にお肉ですね。お肉これ一度、湯通しをしてます。
This very thin sliced beef, he already is blanched, or how do you say, like a kind of in the boiled water,
you blanched it,
right?
blanched it,
It's
okay.
just a little bit, just like a shabu shabu Japanese meat, right?
これは、
So
肉のアクが出てきますよね。炊くとアクが出てくるので、それを防ぐためにあらかじめ先アクを出します。
when you add it raw beef like that, you're gonna have, how do you say those brown? It's a
Yeah,
skim.
film,
You have
yeah.
to do skimmed.
Fat from the top.
Yeah, but when you do this before, then it's not gonna have that much. You don't have to skim it so much.
Now, Swako, the beef that he's using traditionally in Japan, you would go and acquire it specially for this type of dish, already cut.
They already cut thin slice in a store.
And what would that be marketed as? Is it marketed as a shabu beef?
Shabu shabu and sukiyaki,
Okay.
and then we can raw vegetables and stuff with this thin beef.
Shabu shabu and sukiyaki are two dishes that are served kind of almost fondue style, I guess we call it in America, where there's a pot on the table and you're taking raw ingredients and adding it to the pot. Everybody is doing it with their set of chopsticks, ohashi. And the word shabu shabu comes from the actual action of taking that raw meat and shabu into that, and that is done. Because it's paper thin, boiling water, we're talking seconds to do that. And you have medium rare beef, and it's extremely expensive, but worth every yen you have if you're over there. If you're going to eat one thing in Japan.
Kobe beef and omi beef. And
Omi
beef
Hachiman
very
is
beautiful.
famous for a beef product. You've all heard of Kobe beef. I think last time I was over there, the deck size card portion was about $45. Beef over there is highly marbled, very fatty compared to lean in the States. I'd say the almost opposite end of the pendulum of what we're used to.
And soy sauce next.
お出汁が砂糖を入れてお出汁が沸騰してから入れます。
You have to wait till this dashi soup to be boiled. Then add it soy sauce. Most of Japanese chef, use this ladle to just measuring, kind of measuring.
Rather than pouring directly
You're
in.
not gonna use this measuring cup to cook.
Not my glug method that I use.
これでしばらくこう炊きますね。
So now the chef's going to switch pans for demonstration purposes when he does the folded omelet,
大体
folded egg.
30分ぐらいですか？
そうですね。
It's about half hour to cook this niku jaga dish.
卵ですね。
Need some eggs.
アシスト言いますか、クリスさんの。
教えます。
So he's going to
わかりました。
teach you the same time.
頑張ります。
頑張ってください。
Yeah, ganbatte. You can do it.
Yeah.
You can do it. Ganbatte kudasai. Can use 2 eggs?
20.
20 eggs? Sorry, need you.
アメリカでは卵はどうやって割ります
So you want to show him that the
America way of cracking
America way
eggs.
of cracking eggs.
Yeah.
Oh, sure. And my question
Come on, America.
two-handed or one-handed?
Just-
I was taught 2 different ways. One, in bakery, they said use a flat surface, you know, and then some other people said, no, don't use a flat surface. So there's like this conflict. But
Do the American way.
I typically use, you know, like the, and then I do like that.
こういう形で
いいですか？
やりますって。
There it is, go.
Okay.
でもここが汚れます。
Yeah, now we got egg on the
Oh, see,
table.
then I can.
と今はそうでもないけど昔は腐ってる卵がこの中に入ってる時代もあったので、こうレードルのここ角で
Because you never know that this egg is fresh or maybe not. So he's not gonna add it into bowl, bigger bowl. He's gonna test every single eggs in this ladle to make sure egg is fresh.
Is that an issue typically in egg situation in Japan? Where you
No, even you
or-
refrigerated eggs, sometimes don't know 1 or 2 eggs in 20 eggs could be older or maybe spoiled. So
先生、アメリカのエッグと日本のエッグはどうですか？
アメリカの卵と日本の卵は違いがありますか？
違います。
何が違いますか？
They're very
ま
different.
ず黄身の色が違いますね。
Oh, that the color of the yolk
Yes.
is different, he said.
Yes. So
It's more
eggs that
darker,
you will eat
yeah.
in Japan or that you will see prepared in Japan, yellow. And I would even say that the white of the egg appeared to me more yellow than our native egg.
Yeah, egg yolk is more kind of like dark yellow.
Probably from the feed, maybe.
That's because it's a feed is different. He's skimming
Skimming the fat off the
Yes.
top.
from meat.
And there's a lot less because he's already pre-blanched. so-
Yes. Oh, Chris. He got the shells in
Yeah,
there.
I see that.
Don't mean to still show, sorry.
We have pre-prepared samples. You don't have to do the ones Chris did, okay? This, I think, is the most fascinating part of Japanese cooking, is using the, instead of our basic tools, using ohashi or chopsticks for everything. You're going to see them in different sizes. These are more cooking, longer
Saibashi, yes.
saibashi that you would see, not the kind you would typically eat with.
Yes, this is a cooking chopsticks. And 4本ぐらい使ってますよね. Yeah, she's using two pair of chopsticks and mix it.
卵がこう混ぜるとこぼれます。必ずこぼれます。こう縦にこう。
Yeah, if you go around the outside, the yolk just stay in the middle, and you can't.
And then it's come
fold
out
it.
from bowl, so he's cutting eggs.
And pulling some oxygen into them too.
Yes.
So, Swako-san, could you make dashi in advance and then save it, or does it have to be used fresh?
だしは冷蔵庫で大丈夫ですよね。何日ぐらい
いやもう1日
ですか？もうアメリカでは結構
1日 every day.
3日4日ぐらい持たせるんですけどね。
この中に今でも沈殿してると思うんですね。
It's from Bonito's flakes.
これが
美味しくなくなっちゃうんですよね。
酸
So if you keep this one more than a day, so the flavor turns to kind of sour flavor. So he's never going to use a second day dashi. It's
So every
always
day.
fresh.
So would it be typical in a hotel setting or restaurant setting to make dashi every day? One of the first things that the chef's going to
Yes.
do, because it's typical in all dishes?
They need a fresh dashi every day.
Okay.
That he was saying that you can see in the bottom
The settlement.
that, yeah, from Bonito, so that sit there in a long time and it makes taste flavor, sourness. So you don't want that sour dashi.
これに、卵20個に対して、だしが約 400cc。
20 eggs and
400 cc
400 cc's.
is,
Hang on, I got my chart over here for just that question.
400 cc is,
Anybody? Extra credit?
yeah, 400 cc is,
It's not on my list.
no, 200 is a cup, right? Here? Oh, that's American measure. Yeah, 240 a cup here, right? So we 180 a cup in Japan. So
We have, everything's bigger in America.
yeah. あ、もう言いました。Yes, yeah. So this dish, you want to keep egg yolk color, so you don't want to use regular dark soy sauce. So he's using almost non-color 薄口醤油。
Okay.
これが、20個に対して 90cc。
So 90 cc,
90 cc's.
which is Japanese measuring a half a cup. So here, 240 cc is the 1 cup. So 90 cc will be
A lot less than that.
yes, less than that. Calculating.
Yeah. About a
So,
third.
yeah. Yes.
Is this the same? Is this a soy sauce?
No.
Does it have the same properties as a soy sauce, or is it a special Is the color the only difference?
Yeah, because it's color. You don't want to have regular dark color to make egg yolk color to soy sauce color.
That's why you test every egg if you're going to taste your egg mixture before you do it. So this pan is special for this dish.
Have you ever seen this kind of pan in here? No.
And it comes in different sizes, right?
Yes,
Swap-san?
the restaurant uses about like こんなぐらいの大きさですよね。This big rectangle square pan, but it's very heavy, so he couldn't bring it to here this
Yeah.
time. This
これは大見八幡で有名な
わかりますか？
Hmm?
赤いこんにゃく。
So this is from Omihachiman.
Yes,
Famous
this is from
is,
Omihachiman. You know, konnyaku is
Omi beef.
konnyaku.
Konnyaku.
It's called devil's tongue.
So is it beef tongue?
No, it's a vegetable. It's made from potatoes.
Really?
Yes.
So it's not a beef or not a meat product at all.
No, it's a vegetable, but it's kind of like a gelatin texture. And it's called devil's tongue. If you look at the dictionary, it says devil's tongue. It looks like a devil's tongue.
Okay.
I never see devil's tongue.
Me neither. Till today.
But the dictionary said.
Okay.
He's worried about the camera.
So he lightly oiled the pan
Poking it.
with more salad oil.
This one's salad oil again, yes. Where's Chris go?
He's fetching something from the back.
Oh, he already did it once. I missed it.
Who wants to try? It's
Oh.
a challenge. Where do you want? Oh, come on, who can flip an omelet out there?
Right?
Come on up here.
Watch how he flip this egg. And using chopsticks and
So it's 3 folds to go across, not just one. And then adding to the other
大
side.
体3
Stand
回
by
ぐら
the
い
sensei.
返しますか？これ。
これ今が3回目なんで。
Okay. Watch again. He's going to flip this egg.
No problem.
And every single time he added a little bit of oil.
And then adding more layers
Yes.
to the same omelet. So this folding technique is going to add oxygen, lift, and overall depth to the entire egg. And so when you get a chance to taste it, be aware of the lightness of that taste and the way that that's built up and the air that's in that layer, almost like you would fold dough in a cake or...
Soft, very soft. So he lifts a little bit, and then so the egg goes underneath. Well, I use regular pan. It's not going to be rectangle omelette, but you can make just a crepe pan or just French pan regular, but you want to use non-stick pan. I do chopsticks, but you can use a spatula. And if you can't air flip, you can just do, use spatula to practice.
Yeah,
you
you
got
ready?
it now? Oh, you ready? So everybody said that. Let's do it. Let's try.
If I was doing it, the first 2 rows would have to move back.
And also, this kind of dish, you can even like something stuffed inside. You know, when you roll in, you can maybe put like a, I do like a salmon or some seaweed or vegetables, and you can flip it with them too. What's your name? Dan.
Big round for Dan.
まずタオルでレッスンします。レッスン。
Okay, this is the beginner's lesson that using wet towel, flip.
All right, yeah, I get it now.
Okay, he's a left-handing. Okay, you don't have to, yeah, you don't have to worry about how to hold the chopstick. Ooh, it's hot, it's hot, hot, hot. Oh, don't burn.
You all right?
Okay, so pretend that's an egg. Yeah, yeah, fold it. Oh.
I'll figure it out.
Okay.
May take a while.
How many people have used a towel on an empty pan to learn how to flip omelets? It works. American style, you can learn that way too.
Maybe you guys maybe use beans or rice, like a beans or rice to do practice. That's we did too.
テコってわかりますよね。
テコ。
テコの原理。
ああ、テコの原理って、
わかります。
テコの原理っていうのはこういう原理
The
なんですけど。
balance.
Yeah, it's a
The
balance.
fulcrum of the balance.
高く上げると物は落ちますっていう。
そうだから高くした方がいいんですか
そうです。高くする
So you wanted to lift higher, so then it naturally fall. So just kind of use
So rather-
chopsticks to guide,
But not to pull it forward.
not to pour it. Just let them fall.
And you're controlling the end of that, of the egg or the towel in this case, with the chopstick.
One more time, please.
もう一度。
One more time. Oh, you did it halfway, yes.
How long did it take you to learn?
どれぐらいのね、期間がかかりますかってこのテクニックをマスターするのには。
3ヶ月ぐらい。
It's about 3 months.
でもクリスはすぐできました。
Okay, well, today Chris was in the kitchen with the chef and the first time,
Thanks, Dan.
and he showed him how to make this egg dish. He finally did it. He did in the first time, right? This is the first time, but
Now let's see how you do with that Japanese divided chef mind. Mind of people, mind of pan, mind of hashi. Many mind.
Pan.
彼はこの鍋を買うらしい。
yes, now he wants to purchase this pan. He's going to buy this.
I'm gonna go buy the pan.
Yes.
I promise you my practice.
With the towel or eggs?
Towel first, probably.
Okay.
Not quite. Not quite.
It's the first layer, right?
Right,
So,
first layer.
so you always wanted to move to, other.
できない。
It's okay. Good, good.
Nobody sees the first layer
And you
anyway.
have to move to front.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you always move over there. Yeah.
Questions that we have while Chris tries the second fold. How many layers typically till the end?
何回これ返す
5
5 times.
In the States?
どこで買えますかね、このタコライス。
アメリカで売ってる
I would go.
I do on the net.
Okay, what about the website, Food Network, Morimoto?
Yeah, I would check the
Morimoto-san.
net. I haven't seen it in the Asian stores here.
I don't see it either.
Maybe Lee's Oriental Market on Division near 28th Street might have that pan.
All viscous do the eggs have to be for this to work?
The consistency of the eggs, the viscosity of the eggs. So like a standard American omelet, or how mixed do they have to be?
How mixed?
Right. I mean, they were pretty well.
That's what the more you know.
How thin?
They were pretty well.
Mm-hmm.
Down can you make the eggs before? I mean,
What'd you think when you handled?
you know, obviously you measured out the dashi stock, you know, so I mean, you're gonna need to add a coagulate, but, so just like similar, like how you maybe add a little bit of milk to an omelet, so.
It's pretty thin because there was quite a
It
bit
is,
of dashi
yeah,
base to
it
it.
is. A lot of dashi, and then soy sauce is in there, so. Right.
Yeah, we're working
yes.
on translating out the recipes, and we'll get these out in photocopied form, and so you guys can email them out or have the recipes when we're done today.
Is there a significance to the 5 layers? Like, is that like a culture thing or no?
なんで5回なんでしょうかって、これなんで5回？
いや決まってないんですよ
It's okay. That's his way. 5 times. So you can do 7. If you want to have a bigger one, you can do 12. So it doesn't matter how many.
It's a
but then
really
he does the
interesting piece
5
of demonstration cooking, though. And also, I think interesting because you see a lot of demonstration cooking of omelet making on a line in America. So is this something they would do in a hotel lobby like you'd see here in the States? Where we'd have if you had a brunch or something, where you would have an omelet station? Or is this always prepared behind the scenes in the kitchen?
これは人の目の前で作るものではないですよね。だいたいキッチンでみんな仕上げる。
今
Yeah.
最近は、ああいう高級な旅館とかそういうところで、お客様前でよく
Ryokan Hotel does showing
Okay.
this omelette, like
So-
omelette station here, but usually you're back in the kitchen.
So specialty hotels like ryokan is old-style Japanese lodging. So if you want to stay in circa samurai time hotel with the sliding doors and the tatami mats and sleep on futon, which if you've tried in the States is nothing like the ones in Japan, are really, really thin, you might see this kind of demonstration cooking in those type of lodging hotels than in a more modern hotel. What's the most layers the chef has made in that single omelet? Has he tried to?
一番多くたくさんね、巻いたのは何回ぐらい巻いたことあります？
1日
ね、5回じゃなくてね、もっとこう
8回9回
8, 9 is that most the best
Egg cake.
8 or 9
を、40本
on a 40 eggs like this, 40 of them. So his wrist is sore after. Yes, 彼が言ってるのはね、例えば野菜だとかサーモンだとかお肉だとか一緒にね。Yes, you can mix with vegetable in this egg mixture, or
オムレ
yeah,
Yeah.
or you can do when you're folding, you can add something, and fold it over too. I do salmon and stuff inside. I don't. Personally, I don't add it like a fish and meat into the yolk, but the vegetables you can mix it. もしね、日本で何かこれに入れるとしたら、
おネギ
green onion,
トマト
tomatoes.
でおネギとトマトがついてる
I mean, it's not the same time. Green onion, or you can mix tomatoes.
トマトは女性にすごく人気がある
He says tomato mix one is the ladies' popular dish.
ちょっとブラックペッパーに
And it's a little bit touch of black pepper with it.
And what's the current cost of a tomato in Japan? Because when I was there, I was shocked.
Expensive. isn't
Yeah,
it?
I'm interested in what current price is.
今トマト1個はいくらぐらいですか？
Sorry?
聞いてこ
Anywhere from about 5
れぐらい
to
の
8
これぐらい
bucks
のサイ
for
ズ。
4 count.
これぐらいトマト。Okay, now he got the answer. this size of tomato cost says 120 yen,
Okay.
which is
About
dollar
$1.20,
dollar
$1.30
30 for the one tomato,
for a tomato.
just one tomato.
Making that 4x6 from GFS looking pretty good, huh? Vegetables are extremely, depending on the vegetables, are extremely expensive in Japan.
Why?
They don't have a lot of ground to grow on. They cultivate a lot of other things in their soil. Rice, for example, takes up a major cultivation. So a lot of Japanese homes will be raising a tomato plant somewhere, either in the house in a window box on the front stoop. Especially in Omihachiman, you will see that.
What's the growing season like for that?
Japanese weather is ranges from one end to the other because Tokyo is kind of on the same, which way is this way, latitude, as Memphis, Tennessee. So they have that same kind of weather, but the country's very, very long. So Hokkaido in the north is like Canada, where the islands of Okinawa in the south
Okinawa
can
is-
be, more like Hawaii or
Yeah.
very, very warm. So they have a full climate range. Yeah, it depends on where you're at, and they have a lot of altitude changes. So there's actually a lot of mountainous regions, volcanic regions in Japan. And you always hear about Japan being crowded, but when you go to visit and you look around, there's not a lot of flat ground to build on.
No.
So there's a lot of mountainous and a lot of natural terrain barriers. Sorry, yes? What's the sugar base? Is it beet sugar or cane sugar or corn
Oh,
sugar?
このお砂糖、
Yeah, where is the sugar?
Oh,
The
where is the
ingredient
sugar
statement
go?
might be,
Right back here.
このお砂糖は何でできてるお砂糖ですか？サトウキビからですか？
そうです、そうです。
It's a cane.
cane sugar?
Yes.
Cane sugar
Cane
base.
sugar. 切りますか？
大きさの場合はこれが5回、6回、7回。
Oh, really? 本当に This is a 5 times roll, and a 6 times roll, and a 7 times roll. So see that different size.
First time's always harder.
You know you can cover it up with other
Right,
layer. Yes.
Now, Swako,
Yes.
when I was at the test kitchen at Gordon Food Service with two of our chefs one day, knowing that I was studying Japanese, they came in and asked me, what is that? Does anybody know what that is? What's on the table there?
Daikon radish.
You know what I called it? Parsnip.
What?
A parsnip. Parsnip is a root vegetable we have here in the States. And the chef said, no, that's daikon. But daikon in Japanese means big root. So to this day, I don't know if somebody has the answer. Is a daikon the same thing as our American parsnip or not? No, it's not.
It's not.
They look awful similar.
Muay Thai. Okay.
もう一回
It's harder than it looks.
It
so
is.
simple.
It is, yes.
All right.
Anybody else sick of watching Chris fumble with this? Want to come up and do it?
Doesn't really help either. Oh. How's the American egg on?
Say Japanese in that word. So, okay. Nobody's gonna know.
No, no,
Yeah.
no, no. Hi.
To mitigate the fire.
So yeah, he says it's not good to burn it. So oh, good. Well,
やりますか？
Okay. All right.
Yes. これをやってから彼がやってから。
Muay Thai?
まだまだ。
まだ 7 times.
でも終わらなくても大丈夫ですよね。もうこれでもう一回で大丈夫だと思います。
Okay.
うん。One more time.
All right. I can hide that mistake.
But you got the idea.
Yeah, it's nice to go home and practice.
Yes. Yeah. Just just like he said, at least 3 months to practice.
3 months, yeah.
Yeah.
I'll see you in 3 months then.
Especially
Yes,
not
yes.
easy in front of a group of people. Big round of applause for
All right,
Chris.
that's good. Wonderful.
Thank you.
どうも。
どうも。
So now,
次にこのだし巻きを美味しく食べるために大根おろしを
we're going to taste this egg dish with daikon, but he's going to show you that how to peel this daikon in Japanese way.
大根の皮を
And can you see this? Yes, yeah. You know, he told you why, right?
Yeah.
Can you explain to them?
So he makes it like a corkscrew, so then when you're going to be, when you're grating it, it doesn't slip in your hands. It's like almost a natural grip that he created.
来たらいいな
Yeah.
今そう言って教えてます。
これはなぜこうねじるかというと、
He just saying that.
滑らない
Yeah, that doesn't slip. この皮の薄さも見せていいですか？
はい
どれぐらい薄く切れてるかという。And look at this thin. It's thinner than using peeler.
So Swako-san, I heard a question about knife care, about how often the chef sharpens his knives.
これナイフはね、どれぐらいおきに
毎日
every
Every
day.
day. What methods does he use to sharpen his knives?
ストーンですね。
Okay.
石ですよね。
そうそうそうそう
He
Yes,
has
it's a
whetstone,
stone.
but not a steel.
Not the steel, no.
So he uses traditional stone.
Yes, we don't use, we don't. どれぐらい
And
で
does
す
he
か？
use a rounding method when he does the stone?
5万円ぐらい
His stone, you just show me. It's about this size. A sharpening knife stone is a $500.
So and when he sharpens it, is it this way or does he do circles or how does it? Can he show us what the action looks like
この後
when
に
he
です
sharpens?
ね、ちょっと真似でいいのでね、
OK
削る真似をしてください。So he's going to show you the way he's sharpening. I don't think he. Do you have that? 今日持ってきました石。今ここにはないですよ
He didn't bring
ね
it?。
But no, he
Okay.
doesn't have it. But he wants to show
Yes.
that way he sharpen knife. ナイフも高いですよね。
高いです高い、これはね、アメリカに来るときに空港で取られたらあかんから
ああ、
安いのを持ってきました
それでも、
これで3万円ぐらいかな、
OK
これで3万円ぐらい、こっちで6万円ぐらいですね、
高いのはどれぐらいなんですか？家でお店で使ってるのは。
60万円
So he brought this knife this time to US. He was worried about if Chicago airport or
Possess it.
custom taking his knife away. So he didn't want to bring his own expensive one. Still, these are about the $500, $600 knife. But his own knife at his restaurant, it's about 30万円ですか? About $3,000 to more. One knife. One knife. Very, very high quality. And then some of the knife artists, they making one knife for chef, and the name and everything is in that knife.
Is it fitted for him himself? Does he have this knife fitted?
Was the knife created for him?
このナイフはナイフの作る方があなたのために作ってくれるというものですか？ Yes. It's order made.
この中に名前が入
Sorry?
どこにですか？
High carbon steel?
中にですか？
Ah,
って
yes.
絵の中に名前が入って
So he just said inside this area has his names in. なんで中なんですか？見せるためではなくて
見せる。ためではなく絵を抜いたときにその作 作ってもらった人がオーダー名とわかる。
Okay,
普
so
通はここに書きますけど。
これは直すことができるんですよね。So when you, how do you say like well, long time using knife, so he can fix this part. You know, you can just bring it to somewhere and then fix this part. So when you pour these things, that metal part has his own name and then that knife artist name, and so that's his. I think that's the Japanese way. It doesn't have to show people that this is a custom-made knife for me. It's inside and hiding, but he knows this is for him.
Is that high carbon, like folded steel or special steel?
これは何の鉄でしょうか？これでもステンレスではないですね。We don't really use it stainless.
It's not stainless, but it's a
No.
high carbon steel.
It is.
鉄に鋼という金物を打ち付けてます。
Have you ever watched some like making so Japanese saw?
So it's folded steel.
Yes, folded steel.
And is it handcrafted that way then too?
He does. Yes, they do.
ここに波が打ってあるでしょ。
ええ。
これが、鉄なんですね。
Oh.
この波見える
Can you see that? That like a wave
So
line?
the same way that they make Japanese swords or blades, when they fold them, then after they're done, they put clay around the outside. So that leaves a mark on the blade that you can actually see where it's been tempered. So it has a temper line on it that you only see
Yeah.
that
It's
you
like a
only see in
wave.
these handcrafted folded blades. So the same way that you would have
ス
this.
テンレスは何もない。
This one is the stainless one, so you don't see this. But the handcraft.
So if you join Sister Cities and you come with our delegation
これもありますか？
to Omihachiman, and the next prefecture over is
ありますね、
Gifu.
でもね、これ
And in Gifu, you can actually, there is a dojo where they
だ
still
から見分けるの
handcraft
には
Japanese samurai swords, katanas, wakazashis, and you can see that process actually in Gifu. There is a place where you can see it. The only free museum I was ever at in all Japan, where you could get in for free, but you can actually see where they fold.
It was in Gifu?
Yep, in
Oh.
Gifu.
ちょっと簡単にこんな包丁の。
じゃあ、yes, he's going to
To
show
show how to
you
sharpen?
show how to sharpen. Just pretend.
So this is what the stone looks like.
この包丁の断面です。これがこう。
Oh, this is a
こう
blade set.
これを包丁を研ぐときにここを丸くしていきます。こういう形にします。
これのこの
こ
He wants to
Curve the blade.
curve the blade this way. This way.
うそう OK
So not a straight.
これも丸くして
round.
これは、物を
どういうふうにこう動かすか、手を動かすかっていうのを見せてもらえますか？
あ
例えば石があるとして、
この面をここから上げます。
So that's the motion he would use on the
yes,
stone.
on stone.
So-
From the tip, the first, and then
この
moving.
刃先から
Yeah,
順番にこ
そうですね。
その次にこのラインここの
The center, almost the center line.
このラインのところを押さえて
He's pushing that.
So is he applying pressure on both the out and in stroke?
力は
pushing both way?
両方とも同
Only
じ
pushing.
力で入れますか？
Only pushing on outstroke
Yes,
to round the edge of the knife.
yes.
であとこことここにラインがありますね。これ見えますね。このライン
わかりますか？
これ
This
ライ
line,
ンこのライン
that line, and then that.
So I can see from my angle actually where he's pushed this and sharpened this blade so many times. You can actually see the angles on where he's sharpened to it. So those are the lines from where he sharpened.
そこを研ぐわけですね。
ここは絶対に、砥石に当たらない。
真ん中のところはです
ここの
か
ところは砥石に当たらない。
？They don't touch. This part is not touching stone ever.
これはたくさん。
So it's on the edge.
And he sharpens both ends of the back side and the front side of the blade
Yes.
in this particular knife.
Yes.
これが、
分かったみたいです。
So what's the
これは-
specific use of this knife? Because it's long, longer
これ
and
は
different
刺身
shape
とか
than this
ね
one.
This one is 刺身 knife.
Okay.
これは片刃と言います。片
It's
方
only
だ
one
けに
blade.
刃がついてる。
It's only one
片刃
blade knife, yes.
Okay.
Mhm.
これが、ステンレスは両方に刃がついて
So
ま
the
す。
stainless knife is a both, right?
これが両刃になると刀になります。
If
Everybody
the,
got that?
if the sashimi knife has a both both blade, he says that's a katana
It's a sword.
Yeah. Oh, then he said he's gonna go jail.
Yeah.
これ
はい
先ほどの、ちょっとまだちょっと時間があるので、かつらむきをしましょう。
He's going to show you very special that traditional Japanese way to make very, very thin layer with knife. Daikon, radish, carrots, cucumber, we do all this with knife.
And from, I don't know if you guys can see it on the camera, but from my angle, I can see through the blade and I can see his thumb just underneath
Yes.
as he cuts towards his thumb.
Very thin sheet. It's like a daikon and cucumber and everything. He does this all the way. Never cut it, cut off. So you can do all the way with this.
All the way around.
All the way around. It's like a paper thin. This called katsura muki in Japan. It's very, very traditional way. How 何年ぐらいこれの技術をかかりますか？
これは半年か半年ぐらい。毎日
少なくても。You practice this every day and then maybe get it by 6 months.
私のホテルで、今年4月入った子が3年、9月にできるようになりました。
あ、そうだと何ヶ月？5ヶ月。So he's new assistant in his restaurant. So they just got this, and then in 5 months. But every single day you have to practice this, and then I would say more than 6 months to get
Is
this.
that why the latest round it's left to things like this? It's just a straight edge, because he was saying the way he sharpened it was different.
これはナイフが今丸くこう削るって言いましたよね。それは関係しますかってこう。Yes, yes.
ここを丸く研いで、ここがまっすぐなときは、物をこう野菜をこう切るでしょ。切ると、例えばステンレスで切るとちょっと分かりにくいけど、水が出ます。水が。
うんうん。でもこれだと出ないんですか？
水が出ません。
Can you
So
see
the,
that
yeah, the
difference?
stainless blade almost.
潰さずに切れる。
So this is actually cutting rather than chopping, which is more. The chef says you get more of a chop motion when you use a stainless, typical chef knife, and this blade, the way it's shaped, causes you to cut more.
And it doesn't lose moist in the vegetable. That's what he
Correct.
was saying. He just said that we were on a TV show this morning, so he did this one. That he did
On 8 West
one
this
dish.
morning,
Yes.
While we were all at work in school, chef was on TV this morning on 8 West doing some of this demonstration.
Using chopstick to make a curl. Everything, chopstick. We a long time, yes. We always use chopstick to do almost everything.
Well, I think too with Japanese, because of the culture always using chopstick ohashi, you have different dexterity skills, I think, than we grow up with as Westerners because of the dexterity that's required to use chopsticks and other childhood games like origami or folding or those kinds of
Yeah.
things that I find Japanese people very dexterous with smaller things than Westerners. So, Swako-san, does
Yes.
the chef and do they do apprenticeships in Japan? How long do they last? Do they take Western students? Are those kind of culinary opportunities available?
Oh, they're like exchanging
Correct.
culinary.
Yeah, so if somebody here is just totally jonesing on what we're
に
talking about today,
京都とか日本にね、料理学校で
internship.
生徒さんをアメリカからとか取ってっていう形でやったことありますか？交換留学生みたいな形で。
OK と思いますけど、一度
I heard that the Kyoto Culinary School does exchanging student program, and yes, I think I heard that 2 years ago. So I maybe have to
Okay.
check about this. Yeah.
スクールじゃなく、
クラスですよね。なんか料理教室みたいなのとかありますよね。やったらどうですか？
ここを卒業したら私のところに就職してください。日本料理。
He said after you guys graduate this school, he says, "Welcome to my restaurant. If you want to work with me,"
Excellent.
That's he said.
I'd be writing that down, anybody who wants to go. So we've given you the opportunity through Sister Cities, and I saw Marcy was getting ready to leave, but we have applications to join Grand Rapids Sister Cities. It's a great opportunity. The student level membership is $5 a year to be a member of all of Sister Cities, and that's not just Japan is only one of our 5 sister cities. We have sister cities in Poland, in Italy, in Africa, and in Mexico. So there's all those opportunities. And every other year, we do an exchange program where we take citizen delegates, people like yourselves from Grand Rapids to Japan. So if you've never traveled abroad, it's a great way to do it. You spend 5 days with a host family, living with a Japanese host family, and then you do touring around Shiga Prefecture, which is one of the most historically interesting areas in Japan, regardless of whether you want to go to samurai castles or you want to look at art, or it's a very interesting area of Japan.
He picked potato first, and the onion next.
Is he doing that because he wants to inspect or because he's controlling the portion at this point?
This way? You're welcome. Yes. サンプルを持ってきてもよろしいでしょうかっての3時。Oh. It's too much juice in daikon, so he's using paper towel to cut those water. Spoon か何かあるといいですけど。すみません。こっちの下には何か。あ、お醤油？普通のお醤油ですか？
あ、オッケーオッケー。
これでいいですか？これです。Yeah, he's got that. Thanks. Just a little bit of soy sauce to daikon.
これを日本では染めおろし。
染めおろし。
醤油で染まった。
It's called 染めおろし in Japan. So just a little bit of color, soy sauce color to daikon.
例えば何かにソースをかけたりで日本でもお醤油をかけたりするんですが、料理屋ではお醤油とかソースっていうのは小さく出ない。
テーブルには置いていかない。
出ない。
In the Japanese cuisine restaurant, they don't let customer to add soy sauce or ketchup or salt or so that they don't have those condiments on the table.
Yeah, the Japanese tradition of cooking, when you receive the dish, it should be ready to eat, which is also why everything is cut. So if you can't pick it up with a chopstick and eat it, I wouldn't say all restaurants. I mean, there's Denny's type restaurants in Japan, but for a fine dining restaurant, it should be ready to eat. You shouldn't have to do anything to it. All right. Any questions, sir?
I know along the way with us being in culinary school, we've all cut ourselves here and there
Mm-hmm.
while we're practicing. While he was practicing, what did he cut himself? Or is he very...
When he practicing?
In life, in his career, I think he's saying. So,
怪我をした方。ナイフで怪我をしたことはありますでしょうか？
Of course.
Oh, many times. Yes, of course.
この指は少し短い。
Oh, what happened? I don't want to know what happened.
Yeah.
これは、
Ooh.
Yeah. So, yeah.
若い時でしょ？
いや自分の師匠が亡くなったっていう電話がお店にかかってきて、
Oh.
ほんでその時にちょうど、鯛の頭ってわかります？魚の頭をこう割ります。ほんで割ったところに親指があってポン。
でも悪いニュースが入ったんですね。
そうです。
So that happening, the day he heard that his sensei died. So it was a bad news he heard, and he was trying to cut big snapper's head off. So then accidentally he chopped his thumb with the big knife.
それとかあと、前掛けありますよね。
Ah, yes.
前掛けで
You using apron to wipe it off knife, and he did. So then sliced his hand.
あとここも切ってます。
He's showing he cut it this leg too. Yes.
At what age did he start his training for knife skills?
He started cooking at 15. I know that. But I don't know when he started knife skill school.
ナイフの技術っていうのに関して何歳ぐらいから It is 15.
Yeah, 15. Sir?
In Japanese a la carte style restaurants with product like, say, this omelet where it has to be made to order since it can't be reheated, is it normal to wait a long time for your order? People just expect that they take their time and when it comes out it's exactly the way it should be?
Yes. We don't really cook ahead and then heat up in a microwave or anything. So it's most of them restaurant, Japanese, this type of restaurant is fresh.
There are QSR.
Some of that stuff, of
Quick
course,
serve
you have to
restaurants.
prepare and then ahead. But this kind of type of food, I mean, niku jaga like this, you can cook this in ahead. But the most of it, like a kind of tapas kind of, we call it izakaya. So they always order.
Very, very important concept, okay? Throwing this out there. Grand Rapids has a lot of Japanese restaurants. Grand Rapids does not have izakaya. And izakaya is almost tapas style Japanese. It's a bar for eating appetizers. Also serves alcohol, but the primary purpose there is to eat the appetizers and have drinks. So any of you out there enterprising, looking for a business idea, I think Grand Rapids is almost ready for izakaya type restaurant.
Yes, many people ask me to open up
Please,
izakaya in Grand Rapids.
beg you to open izakaya
Downtown
style
area
restaurant.
is a
That would be
perfect.
wonderful.
Yes.
Ladies and gentlemen, pull your backpacks back if you would. We're going to try to do this as quickly as we can. We'll hold it low and if you'll very carefully take a sample. And here's what we're going to do. We're going to start one of the samples from the bottom and work this way up the room. And the other will start at the top and move this way down the room. And so, lucky you folks in the second roll, you're probably going to get
You still need more.
one of both. But everyone's going to at least get something.
Oh, maybe.
Thank you guys for your forbearance on that.
Oh, that's
This one
nice
right.
to you. Look at the tour. Yes.
I happen to see Chef Akihiri's resume and the number of awards he had won by the Japanese government. Could you help us, could you describe, or could the chef describe some of the things he's won?
Sure. Sure. I would ask that question to the chef first to describe his awards, and I'll go grab his list.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I have it right here.
Oh, yeah.
So the resume set that I have in March of 2000, the chef was the 19th All Japan Skill Contest winner and won an award from the government at the governor of
これも
Kyoto,
食べていいよね。
which is of course,
If
no
you want
small
more,
city.
we have
but
here. Right here, yes. Yeah.
in December of 2000, he won the city award for Knife Skills competition, and then in 2001, again, the Kyoto Governor Award. So 2000, 2001, he was repeating that Knife Skills competition, and he was 19th overall in the country of Japan. 2007, 24th All Japan Skills Contest winner. In 2001, Kyoto City Award. 2006, Way of the Knife Award, where he gained another rank. July 2006, he gains another rank. June of 2007, he gains yet another rank. So he's just been going on for a long time. In 2009, he became Master of the Modern Era Kyoto Governor Award winner. So, I mean, this just keeps stacking up and stacking up. And in February 2009, just recently, he was awarded the title of Sensei of his dojo, where he became the teacher. Like I said, there's only one way for him to progress, and that's probably a matter of time more than his skill set. So, All Japan Skilled Chef of Japanese Cuisine, the Japanese Chef Association, the Kyoto Fu, Japanese Culinary and Cuisine Chef Society, and the Omihachiman branch chairperson for Way of the Knife. So, like we have Master Chef in the States, a certification program, Suwako, could you ask the chef what kind of testing and certification it takes to become a chef of his level in Japan?
どんなねテストがシェフなんかマスターシェフになるためのテストっていうのはあるんでしょうか？
テストはないですね。テストはなくて、やっぱりお客さんが 今日からシェフになったとすると、お客さんが美味しいって言って売り上げが上がっていけば OK。
It's not like nothing like a test
Okay.
like doing here. It's almost like a customers knows this chef, this restaurant is good. So
So it's public opinion, the
it's
hardest
a
test of
public
all.
opinion, and it's so yeah, it's not a paper test and stuff like that.
だからダメだったらもう
If you're not good,
Yeah,
so you're done.
So reputation
So
is
nobody's
very
going to
important.
go there and eat.
よかったら回して。
He's saying if anybody wants more this
More?
egg, so we have extra here. So please.
You were shaking your head like you wanted more. So
Thank you very much. Thank you.
sure. Okay. So can you taste the distinct layers in the egg? The air, the lightness, fluffiness of the egg, and then more of that, but I would say subtle acidity provided now by the dashi stock, the salt. Who thinks it's a little under-seasoned compared to what we're used to? It's lighter. And I think that would be a good way to describe kind of blanket Japanese cuisine to what we're used to.
Daikon.
So the soy and
Yes.
the daikon starts
Yeah.
to make up for some of that acidity
Yes.
and change in flavor. The umami that
No.
you would catch is
Yes.
definitely a lot deeper, I think, than we would have in our traditional.
If
Definitely
you,
different than
yeah.
making an omelet and tossing some soy sauce in it, right?
Right.
During his training, I know here we have kind of a combination of some knife skills and some cuisine. He had to do one before the other in his time.
お料理ね、例えば日本料理と他の料理と習わなければいけなかったです。例えばフランス料理だとかイタリア料理だとか。He's just Japanese cuisine studying. So are you asking?
I was asking about like the knife skills too, like learning how to use the knife, learning how to sharpen it. Did that come? Did he have to master those
The
things
training?
first, yeah, before he moved to the actual.
このナイフのね研ぎ方だとかナイフの技術だとかそういうものもやっぱりマスターになる前にどんどんそうやって修行したわけですね。Yes, yeah.
これを作ってくれた包丁屋さん、鍛冶屋さんのところに、習いに
研ぎ方をですか
研ぎ方を。
He's telling me that the person who made this knife for him, he's going to this person to how to sharp a knife. This person who made a knife teaching him how to sharp knife. So he had a training with the knife artist. Yes.
高いものですからちゃんとしたことを習わないとこれがこうなったりちゃんと研げない、だから
It is very expensive knife, and then this is chef's pride. So the knife artist showing them, teaching them how to taking care of how to sharp knife. So you're gonna be a master of sharpening knife too at the same time.
Especially if you practice mainichi every day, right?
Every day. Every day. 毎日研ぎますもんね。
Sir. The question is about how the chef keeps the knife clean and dry by using a towel. Does he use a specific one in Japan for moisture? Right. So the steel, being high carbon steel, is there special techniques to care for it, or does he use any special oils or anything on the knife?
ナイフをねキープするのに乾かしたりするのにねてかどういうふうにキープしてますかっていうのを 手入れをするとき、なんかオイルを使ったりだとかしますか？
オイルは使いますね。工業油。
オイルは使う。
工業
Yes,乾かさなきゃいけないでしょ？タオルを使って乾かすわけですか？
こう磨きますね。こうタオル
Dry towel? So he using dry towel?
いやドライじゃなくてタオルをこうやって和ゴムで留めますね。
He's roll up the towel and then rubber band.
それでこう磨きます。
So at the end of the day, you have to cook. So he's going to taking care of a knife like that, and the towel, and dry, and then wash it, and then dry again.
Newspaper.
That's keeping the newspaper. It's
So he
moist
stores
away.
his blade in the newspaper.
Yes, moist
Yep.
goes away.
これ段ボールは
カーボンボックスですね。段ボール。
段ボール。
It's a cardboard paper. Yeah, cardboard.
これセロテープ。
And then plastic tape. So he just make this.
Students, won't you help me in carefully put those bowls in your lap? And help me in thanking. And I want to let you know that Chef's in town for a little bit. In fact, on Monday, he's putting on a spectacular meal at the Cygnus restaurant over at the Amway. It's a high-priced meal for sure, but there is a student rate, $80. And so you'll be able to taste more of the chef's cooking and his expertise. You'll enjoy a great evening with some of the members of the sister city.
And also on Sunday, the chef will be at the International Food and Wine Festival here at Davos, which I assume you're all attending. If you're not, I would go sign up immediately and get tickets to go. It's right in your backyard. You are culinary students. You should be at the International Food and Wine Festival. 4 o'clock at the Meyer stage on Sunday.
Saturday.
Saturday?
Yes.
Sorry, Saturday.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
He will be performing.
And as we like to do when we have some important visitors and chef visitors to the Institute, Chef, I have something to present to you.
シェフ、あなたにプレゼントがありますという。
Chef, we'd like to make you an honorary fellow of our Secchia Institute for Culinary Education, with all the rights and privileges attached to that. And of course, one of the most important one to us is that you come and visit again, but that you not be a stranger in our classrooms or our hallways or our kitchens.
これがあったらね、また来た時にね、それで帰ってきてもらえるようにまたこれを持ってきてください。
And we would be so pleased if you'd come to visit with us again.
Oh, thank you so much.
Ladies and gentlemen, we always wonder what you'll remember about your time with us. We get you for 2 years, 2+ years, as you kind of move through your culinary training. Hope you'll remember an opportunity you had to meet and hear from Chef Kotani. And again, there's some other opportunities for you to see him in the community if you'd like to. I'd like to particularly thank Jerry Cook from Gordon Food Service and Sawako Klein here in town, an event planner and a chef. And I'd like to say thank you to our own Chris Wesley for standing in as one of our student helpers and translators. And the president of the hotel that the chef works for is in the doorway. He's very quiet, but can't we say thank you to him also? And we have one other gentleman. Is he behind?
Oku-san?
Oku.
Oku-san? Oku-san wa doko desu ka? Where is-
Oku-san hiding.
He's hiding.
Yeah.
And our other gentleman recently attained his sommelier status in Japan, and so he's also a friend of the food and beverage business. And okay, we may not see him immediately, but when he pokes his head back, we'll give him a nice round of applause, all right? So once again, let's say thank you to Chef Kotani and the Sister City folks.
One of my favorite things about being in food service is it's so international. Food and wine is all around the world. You are setting yourself up for a career where everybody has to eat. It is a great opportunity, whether you go on the distribution sales side like I do, become a personal chef like Swako, or work in a restaurant like Sensei. You can go all around the world and do this, and I invite you to expand your horizons. grsistercities.org is our website. We handed out, I think, some applications for you to join if you're interested in doing some international studies. There's lots of ways to learn about Japan here in Grand Rapids. I know that there's a kendo dojo if you'd like to learn the way of the sword. Here in Grand Rapids, there are classes being taught in Japanese culture and language. I know there's a group that meets out on Alpine Schuler Books every other week. There's Oku-san. Big round of applause. And Swako, myself, and the chef will stick around for questions if anybody wants to come and talk to us after.
Students, I know several of you have to get to your laboratory classes. What a wonderful turnout. You didn't have to be here, and I'm just really thankful to you. So have a great evening. Thanks again. We'll let you move on to your classes.
Thank you. Oh, yeah. Oh, you didn't get it?